Okay, let's just get right into this. Today we're looking at the architecture of trans-inclusive workplaces. But I want to be really clear from the start. This isn't just about HR policy or, updating an employee handbook. We're talking about a massive economic engine.
Exactly. And the data here is just incredibly stark. It shifts the whole conversation from, let's say, being nice to, well, simple economics.
I was really struck by the sheer cost of getting this wrong. We know that something like 90% of transgender individuals face mistreatment at work, which is a staggering statistic on its own. But when you zoom out to the macro level, workplace unfairness costs the economy an estimated $64 billion a year.
Just from turnover. It's a massive drain on talent.
A huge drain.
And, the mission of this deep dive is really to see how we move past basic legal compliance. I mean, we all know about the 2020 Bostock ruling here in the U.S., but that's just the floor.
The absolute minimum.
We need to reach the ceiling, where high inclusivity actually correlates with a 56% increase in job performance and a 50% cut in turnover risk.
So we know dress codes and non-discrimination clauses are that baseline, but clearly they aren't moving the needle enough on keeping people. And the reading made this distinction that it really changed how I view this. The difference between action authenticity and relational authenticity.
Right.
I always just assumed the goal was, letting people dress how they want. But that's only half the battle, isn't it?
It's only half the battle. Think of it like a party. Action authenticity is wearing the outfit you love because it expresses who you are.
It's you.
Yes. But relational authenticity is walking into that party and having everyone compliment it, or at least engage with you as you are.
Yeah.
Not just staring awkwardly or ignoring it.
So it's the difference between self-expression and actual social acceptance.
Exactly. Action is me living my truth. But relational is you perceiving me correctly. And the data suggests that second part, that relational piece, is the stronger predictor of job satisfaction.
That makes so much sense. If an environment just tolerates someone, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. And this connects right to the theory of the crystallized self. We aren't just these static things. We're like multifaceted crystals that shine differently in different contexts.
And if the workplace only lets one of those facets shine, employees feel forced into covering. They have to actively hide parts of who they are.
Which is so mentally and physically exhausting. For trans and non-binary employees, the energy that goes into covering, it doubles the risk of burnout. It's like you're running a background app on your phone that drains half the battery before lunch.
Okay, but that puts a huge amount of pressure on the culture. I mean, if I'm a leader, I can't control how every single employee perceives everyone else. So what's the actual lever I can pull here to stop that battery drain?
You have to move from intent to instrumentation. And it starts with something called dyadic congruence.
Okay, bit of a fancy term.
It is, but it's a simple concept. When a leader is authentic, it creates safety. If a leader is seen as fake or, highly curated, it triggers anxiety. Marginalized staff are often hypervigilant about insincerity.
So you have to model safety, not just talk about it.
Yes, and you need the systems to back you up. Formal workplace transition plans with clear timelines, not just vague promises of support. And HR systems have to prioritize chosen names in directories and emails immediately.
Wait, hold on. This brings up the pronoun debate. Standard corporate advice is usually to mandate pronouns in email signatures to be inclusive. But the analysis we looked at actually, it pushes back on that.
It does, and this is a critical nuance. Leaders absolutely should model pronoun usage to normalize it, but you should never mandate it.
Why not?
If you force everyone to list pronouns, you might inadvertently force someone to out themselves before they're ready, or you might force them to lie. It removes that element of choice and safety.
That is a really counterintuitive point, but it makes perfect sense. Mandated inclusion can actually be exclusionary. Now, I want to spend a minute on the psychological toll, specifically this idea of implicit outness. This was maybe the most surprising thing in the research for me.
It's a total paradox, isn't it? Implicit outness is when someone advocates for trans issues. Maybe they're the diversity champion in the office, but they haven't disclosed their own identity.
And you'd think that kind of advocacy would be empowering. But the data says it actually lowers life satisfaction.
It lowers it significantly. I mean, think about the mechanics of that. You are doing all the heavy emotional labor of fighting for a community, hearing all the negativity, but you aren't getting any of the communal support back because nobody knows you're part of that community.
You have a diminished voice. You're absorbing all the hits without any of the armor. That just seems like a recipe for a mental health crisis.
It is. And that's why corporate wellness can't just be a gym membership. It needs to include specific training in mindfulness and self-compassion, things like acceptance and commitment therapy, to help employees build resilience against these very unique stressors.
So, to summarize all this, we need to build a reflective environment, an environment where people are actually seen, not just tolerated, and where the systems are built to reduce the friction of just existing.
Because inclusion isn't a trend, it's a performance driver. Companies with these policies consistently, outperform their peers in profitability.
That is a powerful takeaway.
I'll leave you with this final thought. It makes you look at your own team differently. If relational authenticity is the real key, are you actively validating the identities of the people around you? Or are you just tolerating their presence while you watch them burn out?